In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to get past your chronic ankle sprains. I'm Dr. Garrett Coleman with GuerrillaZen Fitness, and today we're going to be going over how to get past your chronic ankle sprains. Especially in my sport of soccer, ankle injuries are one of the most common injuries in the sport and in a lot of different sports. In soccer, it makes up about 20% of the overall injuries. And once you have an initial ankle injury, you're statistically much more likely to have future ankle injuries. My question is, why does it have to be that way? Why do these ankle injuries keep coming back? And so that's what we're going to explore today, is some reasons why, as well as what to do about it to prevent chronic ankle injuries once you have one already. Alright guys, so one of the main reasons that ankle injuries tend to recur is because the tissue doesn't lay down quite right. So when scar tissue lays down, especially if you immobilize it within the first couple days after the injury, it lays down very haphazardly. It doesn't have any pattern, any continuity to it. And so what happens is it becomes weaker and more prone to re-injury. So what we're going to go over here is a technique called scraping, or instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization. It's a mouthful. Basically, it's going to take that tissue and try to straighten it out and then make it more continuous, which makes it stronger. So I'm using a tool called the leopard claw. This is what I use in my clinic all day. You can use a butter knife. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. And so use some kind of gel or like a Vaseline to decrease the friction on the skin. And it's pretty straightforward. You just put some on the affected area, spread it around a little bit, and then just scrape it. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. I like to keep it pretty linear as far as it goes, like just straight up and down. But this will help to reset the tissue, help to straighten out the scar tissue, as well as brings more blood to the area, helps the tissue to heal quicker, as well as sometimes when a scar lays down, it gets very fibrous and just doesn't move well. This helps add some mobilities back into it and helps decrease the tension in the actual tissue there. And all of this helps to reduce the chronic nature of ankle sprains. So pretty straightforward here. Doesn't feel too bad, does it, Blake?
Nope.
No? Good. One of the main contributors to ankle sprains, as well as recurrent ankle sprains, is the loss of dorsiflexion in the ankle. We already did a pretty deep dive in this in a previous video about ankle dorsiflexion, how to test for it and how to treat it, or a restriction in ankle dorsiflexion. So the link for that will be in the description below. But the second part of this is going to be talking about pronation and foot sloppiness. Along with ankle dorsiflexion, a big player in ankle sprains is sloppiness of the arch of the foot, and most commonly it's called pronation. Basically, pronation is your arch tends to drop. And so when that happens, it creates a ton of instability in your foot, which can then predispose to ankle injuries or recurring ankle injuries. So the exercise we're going to show you is the short foot exercise to strengthen the muscles in the actual arch of the foot. Okay, so ankle pronation is when the foot and ankle actually crash in like this. We lose the support of that arch there. And so the exercise that I like to use to start to strengthen that arch is called the short foot exercise. And so what it is you're taking this area and trying to bring it closer to this area here. And so it's a very subtle movement, but basically a little shortened. I don't want to see you crunch your toes like that, because that's actually activating muscles up in your calf. And so it's literally taking these two and bringing them closer. It's a very subtle movement, but you should feel your arch start to activate. And don't be frustrated if you don't feel this right away. It takes some time and practice, but pays big dividends in ankle sprains as well as pretty much everything further up the chain. Alright guys, so the last piece to this puzzle is reconnecting the neurology of the ankle back with the brain and our movement patterns. And so even if our tissue is healed correctly and we work on ankle dorsiflexion and foot sloppiness, if we don't teach the ankle again how to integrate with the system, we're setting ourselves up for more problems. We're setting ourselves up for recurrent ankle injuries. So the first thing I start patients with, I call it the ABCs of the ankle. Pretty straightforward. It's non-weight bearing, so you're just going to lift your foot up and you're going to start with capitals. You're going to go A to B to C, making the shapes with the ankle. This starts to integrate ankle movement as well as stability of the ankle to again, not necessarily tissue-wise, but neurology-wise. After doing the ABCs, generally I'll go take them into what I call the ankle clock. And so we're going to pretend it's my right ankle that needs some work. And so basically what it is I'm reaching with my left ankle, but I'm bending my right ankle. So I'm reaching my left foot to noon, 11, 10, 9, and all the way around, even behind you. And so this is getting you to stabilize your ankle and balance in all of these different planes. And it's super important for starting to integrate your ankle movements back into your normal patterns. So once you get more comfortable with that, and honestly just balancing on flat ground, I want you to start moving up in balance challenge. And so I love to use this disc. I've had knee injuries in the past from playing soccer, and this is something I do 3 times a week anyway, just to prevent more knee injuries, but it's really good for ankle injuries as well. So it's pretty straightforward. You just put your foot right on here, just come forward, and just focus on balancing. And it's quite challenging to do. But it's super important for reconnecting your brain with your ankle. All right guys, so the last step in this is actually teaching the ankle how to land again, how to land on one foot. And so this is really important because this is when most injuries happen in sport, is when you land and your neurology can't quite catch it quick enough, and that's where the damage happens. And so we need to train it in that moment. And so I like to take about an 8-inch box here. I stand on my left foot and then land on my right. And so the key is to keep the knee and ankle as stable as possible when you land. And it's super important for teaching the body how to work in all the mobility and stability stuff we've been working on into a more game-like, lifelike situation. All right guys, an added bonus for today is I'm going to show you how to Kinesio tape for an ankle sprain. And so by far the most common ankle sprain is an inversion injury, where the foot turns out like this. And so it damages and stretches the ligaments on the outside of the ankle. So I'm going to show you how to reduce the stress on that area, both for preventative as well as if you have an ankle injury already. And so I'm using Kinesio tape here. There's a link in the description below if you want to grab some of that. But I cut it, this is about 7 squares long, you can see here. And so we want it to start on the outside and then wrap around to the bottom of his foot. And so the first step in Kinesio taping is you just tear a little bit here to create an anchor, okay? And then I set this on the inside of his, about 1/3 of the way up his calf here. And so I didn't tell Blake I was Kinesio taping today, so it's gonna suck when he has to take this off with his the hair in his leg. When I had ankle injuries through soccer, I just shaved my leg right away because I know I wanna wear tape and it's not that fun to take off. So you lay down the anchor with absolutely no tension. This is your anchor to help hold it in. And then you peel it back and you use the backing as what you hold. And then I like to hold the anchor to make sure it sticks. And then we come around the bottom of the foot and then attach here. But then you just pat it down. And so the Kinesio tape is basically there to help restrict eversion this way. Or I'm sorry, inversion, to restrict that inversion movement. And so it helps to stabilize the ankle, helps you move better throughout your sport or just through your day after an ankle injury. Now you can wear Kinesio tape for 3 to 4 days. You can shower with it, you can exercise with it. Just when you're done showering, it'll stay a little damp. Don't blow dry it because the adhesive is activated by heat. That's why I was giving it a little friction massage to get it to stick. Other than that, it just really helps to stabilize the ankle and can help with your initial rehab. All right guys, so all of these different interventions are geared towards not only working on the tissue of the ankle, but working on reconnecting the neurology and reconnecting how you move with the ankle as a whole. And so this is very important for preventing those chronic ankle injuries. Another issue that can contribute to chronic ankle injuries is core sloppiness. So a lot of times we don't think about it because the ankle's all the way down there and the core is up here. But if we can't control our core well enough, it's going to be a lot of force moving through our knees, our ankles, our feet. And so that itself can contribute to more ankle injuries into the future. All right guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to check out our free 3-day functional training program. It's full of strengthening and corrective exercises that help make you stronger, leaner, more resilient to injury. And so make sure to click in the description below to get that. And once you click on that link, that'll take you over to our website, and then it'll enter in your email address, and then we'll send you that workout within 5 minutes. Again, thanks for checking us out today, guys. Make sure to click here to get that free 3-day functional training program. Click here to subscribe to our channel, and then you can click here to get to that video about low back pain and some of our favorite core exercises. That's all for today, guys. Thanks so much for checking us out, and until next time, happy moving.